Hey guys, and welcome back to a new video. This is loot from 10 hours of bossing. And this isn't just random bossing, this was very planned and procedural. I chose to do 10 bosses for 1 hour each, and then in this video we're gonna compare them and see which one made me the most money. And I did all this on a stream on Saturday. It was a very long one. Maybe you were there. If you were, hope you enjoyed it. For the first boss, I chose to do Corp, and I chose it as first because I really like this boss, and I wanted to see if I could get anything lucky to start off the video. But sadly, from the 1 hour, I didn't get any super rare drop, but I mean, that's kind of expected. I only did it for an hour. But I was very lucky on the Onyx Bolts. I ended up with 2 Onyx Bolt drops, which that's like half of the money I made from Corp. And if you've ever been to Corp, you do know that you want the Cannonballs or the Onyx Bolt drops for your commons. And if you're wondering, I ended up with 26 kills in this hour, which isn't too bad. I thought I was going for 25, so I ended up with 26. And I do have to say something. Throughout this 10 hours, I died so many times because I would just fuck up or I would not really pay attention on stream. So there are a lot of deaths throughout this thing. So, I mean, I did lose a lot of money from dying, but I'm not going to count that against me in this video. Just know that in this game, I die all the time. Like, if you watch my streams, you should know by now I die way too much. And don't worry, I made it so where if I died on a boss, I didn't count that kill towards my time, because otherwise it's going to be unfair for some bosses, because, you know, if I died more at this boss, then it has an unfair advantage over the other one. So I decided that if I died, I would just scrap that, 2-minute segment or whatever, how long it took. That way I could get a full hour of killing. And if you are wondering, I did die like 8 times. So it was a consistent problem. Don't laugh at me in the comments. Oh man, if you were watching the stream, you know what happened. I will be going over how much I made per boss at the end of the video, so stay tuned for that. Anyway, moving on from the Corp kills, the second boss that I chose was Queen Black Dragon. And you want to hope for a Visage. I sadly didn't get one, but I don't really care because I did end up getting 2 royal pieces, 1 spring and 1 sight. I know they're very cheap now, but it's always nice to get them because it's nice to see a big stack of them in the bank. As for QBD herself, I did manage to kill 24 of them in an hour, and I think it should have been more. I usually get 25 to 30 an hour. I just think I had a really bad time there, honestly. But other than that, I didn't really get anything spectacular. So yeah, it was pretty uneventful. And the next boss, number 3, I chose to do Kalphite King. Now, we did this trio, and this is going to be really embarrassing, but we were horseshit. Like, my buddy had a Slayer task of Kalphite King, and I'm pretty sure Kalphite King is one of his favorite bosses, so he's really good at it. He has like 1,000, 2,000 kills or something, but I mean, I haven't had that many kills. I haven't done it for 6 months, if not longer, probably even a year. And then my friend who tanked for us was very new at Kalphite King too, so we just were we didn't really have good synergy, so we didn't get that many kills. We only ended up with 19 in the hour, and we kind of got burnt out because the drops were pretty trash as well. We did get a 200 Onyx Bolts drop, which was okay, but again, we're splitting between 3 people, so the split is kind of bad. All in all, I'm not really even a big fan of Kalphite King. I don't like it at all, so I wasn't really expecting much anyway. And yeah, thanks to my friends Chris and Tobe for helping me out on that boss. Next up, I did some Nex, and this was duo with my friend Adam. We did the Max Cape ranged method, where you teleport after every kill to the max guild, and then return, and you range every single kill. But I'm a very slow banker. I've always been a slow banker, so we didn't get that many kills per hour. But it was kind of cool. The first drop that we got was a Pernix Cowl, which at first I was kind of like, woo, we got a drop. But, I mean, it's like one of the worst drops you can get from Nex. But it was, 2.8 mil. Can't really do anything about it. And it's still a drop, can't really complain. So in the end, we got 11 kills, which is pretty bad for Nex. But who cares? I haven't done Nex for a very long time, so oh well, I guess. And another thing for Nex, we got so many fucking brew drops. Like, I know it's super common there, but that's basically all we were getting. And our commons were pretty trash as well. So you really can't expect much loot here. I was actually expecting Nex to be the best. I was banking on the fact that we were going to get something good, like maybe a Torva plate body, but it didn't happen. I mean, I guess that's what you get when you only do 11 kills. But anyway, the next boss I chose to do was Araxor. So you got to keep in mind here, I haven't done Araxor for at least 6 months, like at a minimum, because when I got my pet during my pet series, Master of PVM. If you've watched that, you would know that like I did so much Araxor. And I also made a loot from 500 Araxor video. I really haven't done it since then, so I was kind of scared about this. I was planning to do this for sure, like during this video, but I was kind of like, oh shit, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna get really terrible kills. But I couldn't be more wrong. Like, I did so well at this boss for how long I haven't done it. I ended up with 6 kills in about 55, 56 minutes. Now, I could get a 7th kill because I have the extra time, but I would be a little over an hour, so I decided, whatever, we're just going to stick with 6 kills. And we actually got really lucky with Onyx drops. I got a double Onyx drop, I think, on kill number 2, and then another double Onyx drop on kill number 4. I definitely made a ton of money there in just that 1 hour. After that, I headed over to the God Wars 2, and the first boss I chose to do was Vindicta, and I thought my hourly kill rate was pretty good. I got 29 kills. I know that's like not the fastest you can get per hour, but I'm pretty proud of that for me at least. As for any drops, I did snag a Helm drop, which, you know, it's only like 100k, but I guess it's cool. It is a unique drop. And for my pet series, I do need to get one of each item from every boss anyway. As for the commons, they were pretty bad, I guess. Nothing really special. After that, I chose to do Gregorovitch, and I didn't get any like Greg specific rare drops, but I did get a 55 rune bar rare drop table drop, and I think with that I got some rune ore, so that's a really, really good drop. And 55 rune bars is like 600k, so definitely nothing to scoff at. And if you're wondering, I got 20 kills in that hour. It would have been a lot more, but I think I was doing the rotation wrong pretty early on. I kind of fixed it up later, but it just felt slower than the other God Wars 2 bosses. After that, I headed over to Hellware, which is actually my least favorite God Wars 2 boss. It's just, I don't like the mechanics. Like, I don't like the mushroom attack. And I do like that it's very procedural. You know what's going to happen. It's very predictable. But, like, I don't know, I'm just not a big fan. But this one, I did snag a Serenic Essence drop, which I think is a couple 100k. It's always nice to get one of those. But I think I already have one for my series, so it's not something new. But something I noticed from this one is that I got the most coal off of Hellware out of the 4 God Wars 2 bosses. I got 4,000 coal, which is 8 coal drops out of 21 total kills in the hour. I just thought that was a little mysterious, but like each time you get a coal drop, it's like a solid 100k. Can't go wrong with that. And for the second to last boss of this video, I did some Twin Furies, which are very, very fast. They are the easiest and the fastest God Wars 2 boss by far. Like, they are so lax. Most of the time you don't even need food, and that's basically because you use two-handed melee with either a Dragon Rider Lance or a Scythe, and the damage you do to both of them does add up, and they both stack, so you can get a lot of damage down, especially during the phase where they receive double damage. And I ended up with 31 kills in that hour. I actually was expecting like 35, but I guess I was a little slow. And I think for the common drops, probably because I killed so many, I think this one made the most money for just common drops at God Wars 2. And for the last boss, sorry this is like really dragging on, but for the last boss, I decided to do Dagonoth Kings. And I haven't been here for a very long time, so it was definitely a trip of nostalgia. And I actually got a Seer's Ring and a Warrior's Ring throughout my hour. But too bad they're very cheap now. And I managed to kill 122. They do have pretty nice drops, especially if you can get some noted water tallies. I ended up with, I think, 2 of those drops. And if I'm not wrong, I think the Dragon Hatchets are over $1 million. And if that's the case, you can make a lot of money if you can get a couple of those. So yeah, that was basically the 10 hours of bossing. Overall, it was pretty uneventful in terms of drops. I did snag that Pernix Cowl duo. Sadly, it's really cheap. I did get a couple God Wars 2 drops, and like a rare drop table drop from Greg. But that's basically it. Nothing really spectacular happened. But either way, let's go and see what the bosses made. Alright, so I have every boss on screen right now with their respective kill amounts and the money that they made. And the first thing I'm going to say is just look at that Kalphite King right in smack dab in the middle on the top. Absolutely disgusting. That is just gross. Not even a 1 mil split. And that's just basically because we didn't get that many kills in that hour, definitely. And our drops were just pretty trash. Other than the Onyx Bolts, I mean, we got like nothing. We kept on getting rare drop table drops of absolute, shit. Kind of same with the necks. Even with a Pernix Cowl, we only got 2 mil. Our common drops were also very bad. But, I mean, if you compare it to the Corp and the Araxor Hours, I made a lot of money there. So it kind of evens out. And if you add them all up, it means I made 36.8 mil in this 10 hours thing. And just for the sake of rounding, that means I made 3.7 mil per hour. But, if you include the deaths and the supplies I've used, it'd be a lot less than that. But for the sake of the video, I'm not going to worry about all that shit. So all in all, I'm not going to go over every single boss. It's kind of, I've already done that. But you can see for yourselves what made what. And before I go, because the loot was just shown as the money value that I got in the hour, if you are interested in seeing what exactly I got for drops, I have everything laid out in a Google spreadsheet that you can check out in the description. You can have a look over there if you're wondering what type of common drops I got the most of, or anything that you might wonder. I personally didn't want to put it all in this video because it would have been a little too tedious already. So there you go. And if you have any other video ideas I could do, drop them down in the comments below. Maybe you could tell me your favorite boss as well, out of the bosses that I did today. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a good day.